Hi, I'm Sean from Motolegends. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Shoei GT Air 2. So in front of me I've got a Neotec 2 and a GT Air 2. This is the benchmark, this is the helmet we all love. However, there's one thing about it that I can't forget, and it's just that when I look at this, it reminds me of a cat that's forgot to put his tongue away. A bit like that when you see those photos. So everyone's got their own idea of cool, what cool is, what bikes are cool, and most people come in here saying, you know, they might not say it exactly, but they'll be thinking, they've got an image in their head of what they want to look like. And for some people, a flip front doesn't fit that image. But they may have transitioned from a sports bike, and in the sports bike world, you've got race rep helmets, you've got, you know, sporty leathers and a big fairing and all this, that and the other. And you may have grown out of that. And we get customers that come in here that said, oh, I've had a, you know, Fireblade, a Ducati, the Panigale V4 or something like that, and they come in and say, look, I'm not riding that anymore, I've got something a little bit more upright, I'm going to be doing more touring, I don't want the full race rep helmet, I want something with all the refinements of this, all of the comfort and the quietness, but I'm not quite ready for the sort of flip front pipe and slippers look. There's a little bit of a stigma attached to that. Now, I think most people, when they try one of these on, will change their mind, but for some people, they can't get over that, and that's fine. That's why there's more than one helmet in the Shoei range. So if you're kind of transitioning from a sports bike, or if you could still wear this on a sports bike, it's something we'll take a look at it in more detail, and you can kind of decide if this is the right thing for you, or maybe something like this, or maybe something completely different. So we've already discussed the differences between the Neotec and this in brief, but what I haven't discussed is the differences between this and the previous model. Now, you don't need to Google search what this replaces. Obviously, it's a Neotec 2, it's a GT Air 2. It replaces the GT Air 1. The GT Air 1 in its own right was a fantastic helmet, hence why they didn't try and rebrand and rename. They just wanted to improve upon a platform that they'd already established, and that was one of a helmet that was a grand touring helmet, hence the name. And I think what people took away from the previous model was it was quiet, supremely comfortable, everything on it was premium, including, you know, fastenings, strength of the visor, clarity of the visor. You've got a fantastic multi-layered shell, very safe. So how do you improve on a fantastic helmet? Well, you do a bit of R&D, you listen to the market, and you try and work out what could we do better. So what they've done on this model, they've now got an integrated comms, which you'll see is becoming a familiar part of the Shoei family. You've got it on a Neotec 2. There's also the J Cruise 2, which has now got it, and you'll see that will start to spread throughout the rest of their range. The unit that goes in here is an SRL2 kit. I'll pass over that briefly later, and we'll probably do a video on installation, but if you can't wait to see that video, because it might take a little bit of time to put up, then we will cover it. You can watch the Neotec 2 video because there's a lot of similarities there. So other things that they've improved upon over the GT Air 1, around here you have a seal to stop the rain getting in. It's now double seal, so that bit of rubber is doubled up all the way around, obviously, and it just means it's a lot harder for rain to ingress inside the visor. You've got improved ventilation, and they're also saying that you've got improved sort of sound deadening qualities. Now, I think it's always difficult to say things like that because everyone's got a different bike, everyone's a different height, you've got different screens and all sorts of things. So quietness is something that's quite specific to the person, and it's quite hard to comment on because what might be great for me might be completely the opposite to you. We often have people coming in saying vastly different things about the same helmet and their own experiences. So you've got, other than the venting, which they've also improved, you've got the double visor seal, integrated comms, and they've completely built this from the ground up. So you'll see that this is slightly, I think, more aggressive in terms of its styling. It's not an aerofoil, but the sort of built-in spoiler. It's just, I think it's ever so slightly more sporty than the previous model, but I think that sets it slightly further apart from a Neotec. So I think I mentioned that before. If you've come from a sports bike and you're going to more of an upright bike, this aperture is designed so that and the aerodynamics are designed so that when you're on a sports bike, when you're on an upright bike, this all works very well in that position rather than the full race hunch. So nothing surprising then. Shoei doing what Shoei do best, making fantastic helmets. We've got a helmet here that you could potentially use for any kind of riding. I wouldn't say you'd want to go off-roading on it, but with an integrated visor, which is operated with the little switch here. You've got a pin lock, which stops you from fogging up. So you can use this all year round. You could go touring through Europe or wherever you fancy, and you could use this as a daily commuting helmet. Often people have a repetitive cycle with a commute and you end up riding towards the sun for long periods of time. The drop-down visor is fantastic. It means you don't have to swap the outside visor out every day, which can be a hassle. One of the downsides of the RYD, which is sits slightly below this in the range, and also there's an NXR helmet, something that we don't sell currently, but that doesn't have a drop down either. So this is kind of ticking more boxes. So it's more refined than those other helmets. It's not quite as lightweight as their race helmet, but equally it's got more features, and this is for someone that wants a little bit more refinement. Basically they're riding for reasons other than how fast can I go and how cool do I look at the cafe. But again, how cool you look is it just depends on the person. Your taste may be different to someone else's. So moving on just to how it's constructed, I've already said that it's a multi-composite fibre shell, so you've got fiberglass and various other organic fibres. They make the helmet in 3 shell sizes. The split is from extra small to medium, first shell size, large by itself, second shell size, and third shell size is from XL to XXL. The fit of the helmet is a longer oval fit, which means that if you've got the sort of standard or the most common shape of a European head shape, which is slightly longer front to back, this helmet should fit you fantastically well. There are multiple liners for every helmet and very easy to remove. We do a custom helmet fitting here. So if you wanted to make sure that this fits you absolutely right, pop into our shop in Guildford. We'll make sure that you get the right cheek pads and equally the right headliners, because this makes quite a huge difference between a helmet fitting you and a helmet kind of being slightly uncomfortable or being a little bit noisy. So all these things can really change how a helmet works for you. We've had cases where someone's bought a helmet that's too big, they've gone a size up, and actually all they needed to do was just change a liner. The service is of course free when you come into the shop. So all we do is we take the standard linings out and we replace them with the ones that fit you best. So if you've tried Shoeis in the past and they haven't worked well for you, even with a custom fit, because maybe you've got a rounder head, something more intermediate oval, then try looking at this from Shark. It's their new Shark Spartan GT, and essentially what they've done is they've upgraded their Shark Spartan. They've made it quieter and done all sorts of things to basically get closer to a GT Air. We have got a video on that. You can check it out on our YouTube page, or you can scroll to the product page and it should be up on the product page as well. So one of the reasons the original GT Air was popular was because of the vast array of colours and graphics, and this isn't nothing's changed there really. We've got 16 different colourways. One's missing from the table. It was the only one we didn't have in stock when I looked in the warehouse earlier. They've got everything from matte finishes, gloss finishes, to fancy graphics, down to slightly quirky bright yellow colours that are more visible without having that sort of connotation with a workman's high vis. The colours, so 16 in total. You can see them all on our website, or you can come to the shop and we'll get them all out for you if you want to see any. They all come in different price points. So a plain white gloss or a plain black gloss will be $449.99 currently. Then the next price range is non-graphics but not the white or black in gloss, and they are $469.99. And then you've got the graphics, which come in at $549.99. You can add a comms kit to that. When you buy the comms kit with a helmet, you will save the VAT. So if you're considering doing that, it's a good idea to do it at the time of buying the helmet, because that way you save some money. Otherwise, you can buy it separately. It's $259.99. But like I said, in fact, I'll grab it now. We can have a quick look at that. I'm not going to bother opening the box. Everyone knows what a comms kit looks like, and it doesn't matter what it looks like really, because it's going to fit inside the helmet. All you'll be left with is a couple of buttons on the outside. That means that you're not going to have a big box causing more wind noise, or just making it more awkward to put in a pannier or something like that. I won't go through all the specs, but it's equivalent of a Senna 20S. You can pair up to 8 riders. You've got about 1.6 kilometre range at best, that is. And it will pair to your GS 1250s and every other kind of bike. They're pretty good at integrating with various different systems. You can pair to any other rider with any other comms kit, but you tend to then be limited to one. But what we'll do is a more in-depth video on this, and if you want to learn more about it, you can watch that. So to summarise the GT Air 2, it's a premium helmet and it's made as you'd expect. You've got multiple shell sizes, you've got fantastic materials. They're almost impossible to break unless you try, and even then you've got to try pretty hard. You've got a buckle here which sets them slightly apart. They've moved that further forward in this model to stop any discomfort on the neck, improving the venting and everything like that. So great if you're touring in hotter countries. You'd probably be picking this if you didn't want a flip front, but you want all the refinements and comfort, and if you didn't want something as basic as, say, an RYD, because you wanted the integrated visor that drops down so you don't need to keep changing visors back and forth. You get the Pinlock 120, which they call a Pinlock Evo. It's the best you can get. It's kind of what you expect from Shoei, really. No real surprises here. You can decide for yourself whether you like the look or not, because I think that will decide for some people. It may even put them off another helmet and bring them towards this one. So vast array of colours. Check it out on the site, and read some other reviews, maybe get some other opinions. But I think we're pretty objective here, and I think what you should be doing is getting a helmet that fits you correctly, and picking one that you like rather than what people tell you should be buying. Thank you very much for watching. If you have heard all this stuff before, this is the point where you'll stop watching, but if you haven't, you might want to learn a little bit more about us. We are a shop and a website. We ship all over the world. Our postage and packaging is free within the UK, and you've got a 12-month period in which you can return an item should you not like it. However, that doesn't mean you can use it for 12 months and then give it back. So it just means for whatever reason you've kept it in a cupboard, you've been busy, someone's been ill, whatever, you can still send it back in 12 months' time, so long as it looks as good as it did when you sent it out to you. We offer a price beat guarantee, which means that we're always the cheapest. There are a few terms and conditions that go with it, but at the bottom of our website, you will see what they are. Essentially, we will beat a price that is more than £5 cheaper than us in the UK, and we'll match prices in Europe. If you would like to visit us in person, you can come to our wonderful shop. We have lots of nice teas and coffees and homemade biscuits, which my mother makes. We're all very friendly and we love chatting about bikes and gear, and we're all very happy to help you fit a helmet, a jacket, or wherever it is you need. And like I said, with the 3-floor warehouse, it's usually easy to come and do sort of a one-stop shop and get fitted out in everything you need. So hopefully we will see you in the shop. Otherwise, we'll catch you online. If you've got anything you want to ask, you can ask in the comments below, and we'll see you soon. I've been Sean, Motolegends. Thank you very much.